Hi guys to everyone, it's Ada from PoisonRock and I would like to say Andromeda Anarchia today. It's with us, but not only as a guest, but also as a co-host, we can say, because it's
All right.
kind of a mutual talk. First of all, how are you, Andromeda? It's been a really while.
Hi, Ada. Thank you so much for having me again. I think the third time already.
Yeah, and
Thank you
not the
so
last
much.
one.
It's always a huge pleasure to talk to you, and I've been doing fine. Rather busy, running around everywhere, but it's okay. I'm good, and I hope you are too.
Yeah, I'm good too. And also, before we start to talk and to introduce this type of
Yeah.
format, I wanted to ask you, I was going with the La Suspendida, with the band, with other project you mentioned outside the box.
Well, yes, with La Suspendida, there's quite something going on. We have an album release, like a live album release that is
Okay.
happening. We are having another concerts in September in Paris,
Okay.
and that's going to be super exciting. It's also a lot of work.
Yeah, me
The
too.
next months will be intense for me, and no, but I'm very much looking forward to this.
Yeah.
And so this the opera is moving gently, and that's really great. It's difficult music, but wonderful, a wonderful production. And I'm very curious how people will pick it up again when we perform it, and also how the role develops, because that's a role we were talking about that I
Yeah.
had to build up all by myself, and it's still
Okay.
in growing process. I'm not sure how it will sound this time in comparison to the last performances.
Good.
So it's very exciting for me too. And with Folterkammer, it's all about writing new music and thinking about how to organize our schedule so we can tour again. That's the tricky part of this band, is the matches of
Yeah.
schedules. But we're always in touch, even across the continents, and that's really wonderful. And I'm super excited about that too. And I had a couple of guest performances which are interesting. One is going to be released soon in a few days. It's with
Oh,
Mark Orselli, who is a Grammy-winning sound engineer from actually Switzerland and Italy. He's like half
okay.
Italian, half Swiss, but he lives in New York. And
Okay.
he collected all kinds of metal artists and experimental music artists to collaborate in teams. You didn't know how he will match you. You didn't know that up front.
Mm.
And then he wanted you to interpret a song of the Ramones. So also Imperial
Wow.
Triumphant is on it, but so many people from Sonic Youth, or like you just have to Google it. It's just amazing.
Mm.
And we were all interpreting songs of the Ramones, and I was matched with a band from Iceland, which was really interesting. I didn't know them before, so you maybe you can check out. It's called the Ramones Redux. So this is
Yeah, it's
released
interesting.
and then I was participating on a single on uh, of the new album of Panzerballett, which is called Übercode Oeuvre, a very interesting word to pronounce. It's a metal
How did
jazz
you go?
band. Really crazy lineup, and I was invited to be a guest on the single "Ode to Joy" by Beethoven. But you can imagine Beethoven with metal and jazz
I know.
influences, really
Yeah.
great musicianship. And I said, okay, I will participate, but I want to participate in a duet with Conny Kreitmeier, who happens to be one of my favorite singers from Germany. She's a cabaret singer,
Wow.
really versatile, so much fun, a very powerful woman. And she inspired me like since so many years to become who I am right now. And
Amazing.
so because she was a guest like on earlier records of Panzerballett,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, please, can I have a duet with her? And
Oh, you
he said,
did
oh,
it.
yeah,
It was kind of a dream come true then.
so much, because that band was inspiring me like so much. And then Connie said yes, and
You.
finally we were doing this single. There's a video out, and we had this video filming thing, which was really funny
I.
and super crazy. We were laughing all the time. I think you can even see, I want the filmmaking team to make like a bloopers video, because there were so many things happening, me wearing heels that high and losing the balance, and I was like, ah! There should be some great shots somewhere. And no, it was really fun. So,
Okay.
and also the musicianship is just incredible on this album.
Wow.
And so this is something which could be interesting for people who are
Yeah.
open-minded about mixing
Music.
classical music with jazz,
Yeah.
with metal.
Yeah,
Very, very good
especially, yeah,
musicianship.
not only people that are following La Suspendida because already they are interested in the mixing of the genre, but also other people because it's, I mean, especially if they want to see the bloopers.
I hope they will do it because it's so funny. I really should write them to make that. It would be a good laugh. But even the video itself, it was really cool, and it was amazing to meet Connie and to work with together with her. She's amazing, even more amazing than I already thought she was. And she's really powerful. And we have different voice types, so that's also
Yeah.
really interesting to
Mm.
listen to. And Jan always makes these crazy arrangings of songs and
Oh,
compositions, so that's something interesting to check
okay.
out.
So you already introduced a woman. You
Okay, I will
spoiled.
zip my mouth for now.
I know, but I like you. It's I mean, you've been really busy. You've been really busy. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's it's good to be, like yeah, I like to have a break sometimes because
Yeah.
when you have a lot of output, you also need a lot of input.
Yeah.
You
Exactly.
need to rest and to be
Exactly.
bored, and then creativity reloads again,
I
and
believe.
then you can start again. I needed some time because after all these releases and opera
Yeah.
performances, and with Folterkammer, I needed to breathe. And
Yeah.
I had a couple of weeks a bit more silent and calm and doing boring work like office work and stuff.
Okay.
So, but now I feel like now I want to write music again. Now I
I
want to
know.
do this and to do that.
You got to
So
rest.
I'm back on my track.
So of course, people might be wondering what is going. Is an interview for Filter Camera? It's an interview for Vida. It's all in between because of course it's we want always to put what's going on, but the
Mm.
but this is kind of a format that me and Andromeda we are experimenting, me and you. So we don't. So just for the people, forgive us if we make some mistake. But this is just to talk about how, because women are always often left alone. So we
Mm.
wanted to be here since we just already spoke in other interviews about that, but mainly into the specific, to just make a kind of format where women can see themselves and remember to stand up together, to go together, literally be united, not just divided like many women are
Yes.
today. And especially starting, I don't know, you are the first guest, but just talking about I don't know, we were talking about who influenced Andromeda, who influenced me, or other women we admire in the world
Yeah.
from now till, I don't know, medieval times. Even Cleopatra could be one of them. I don't know, anything. And also we're going to mention further on some real physical act that the women can do when they are in danger, which is something important and not spoken of. So I would say before, as a beginning, there was a woman growing up, Andromeda, that you always looked up to. Like, that's my muse. I want to be like her.
There were many different ones while growing up. And some are like, when I was little, I looked up to Cher. I thought she
Yes,
was
I
really
know.
amazing
It's so
because
nice.
I
Yeah,
thought she was so unique.
yeah,
Like her appearance, she was so, when I was a little girl, I just had a girl crush on her. Like she was so beautiful. She had that low voice, which is really rare for women, and I just loved it. And then she had that long black hair, and I wanted to look exactly like her, and I wanted to have her kind of low voice. And I don't have long dark hair, and I don't have a low voice, but I just really wanted to be like her. And well, she was also she was one of the first concerts that I saw. And
oh, her live.
that's when I realized what was the actual role of a soloist singer and of backing
Yeah,
vocalists, which was really important for me to learn the
yeah,
difference about this. She had amazing backing vocalists on stage, and she was amazing too. And I was just like observing every detail
yeah.
about that show. I was still a kid, but I was like, wow, she's amazing. So she definitely is one of the women that influenced me a lot.
Yeah.
And I mean, she had an interesting career. She was all over the place. She was in TV, she was in music, she was in like cabaret, like
Yes.
entertainment on TV also.
How
Really interesting.
she reinvented herself after the divorce with the man that stole with Sony, how he stole all her money and everything, and I think it was 40, 30. She was alone.
Yeah.
She has to start from zero. She reinvented
She's a
again.
total she's a total badass. I mean, at
Yeah,
some point she just realized, hey, I just need myself and I'm strong enough and I can
she
do my
wrote a
thing.
song, Strong
Yeah,
Enough.
exactly. That's even true. And no, she's an inspiration on so
Yeah,
many levels as a
yeah,
musician, as an artist, but also as a woman who does her thing.
yeah.
And
She's
I
a
think that's like the most important thing for women.
yeah,
Whatever happens in life, we need to connect with what we really want, what we really
exactly.
desire.
And
And
she
that
was
gives us a
never, yeah,
superpower.
she was
But you
never,
were right. We have to connect. We have
yeah.
to really, really
Yeah, and
connect.
like I was mentioning before, there is this painter, Italian painter, Artemisia
Yes.
Gentileschi, that I never had an idea who she was before today. That apparently she was one of the first and most important painter of the Italian Baroque style, and because her father was another painter, Orazio Gentileschi, so another big painter, and she was abused when she was still underage, 17. Of course, she was judged. I mean, don't even care about in the trial court. But she started to painting women. She started to give a voice to women with the eyes, with the and I mean, literally, she started to like painting these women that were like mythological women, women in Bible, but in the opposite world. Not be submissive to men, but just
Mm.
them. They were taking their power back, taking them their safety back. So I think as a in that 17th century wasn't easy. I mean, because
No.
we are still with the Inquisition going on. So I think that's something that in the for the artistic part, like for the painting, for who is interested in the painting, there could be an important woman too. And I think there are so many in history, so many that we got
Yeah.
lost. It's just for mentioning one woman from the past. So, which other women? Let's say we can say that aside for Cher, that of course she's my biggest inspiration of all the time. She's
Mm.
influenced the teenager Andromeda now.
Oh, oh my God. There were so many. I think as a teenager, oof. I mean, there was this singer, Eartha Kitt.
Okay.
She was one. And I started to discover her because of another woman that I really, really admire all my life, Fran Drescher. I don't know, do you know
Yeah.
the this incredibly funny series, The Nanny?
Yeah.
Fran Drescher is an amazing woman. She's just such a huge force
Yeah.
of
Exactly.
creativity and positivity. She had so many fates she had to deal with in her private life, and she is like the perfect example of how to take negative energy that is being thrown at you by life or people or whatever, and she transforms this into something positive. Even when she had cancer, she fought it, she survived, and what she did was to build an organization called Cancer Schmancer that helps people to get educated about cancer. And she talks to many people from with medical backgrounds or health backgrounds to spread this information to people.
Yeah.
And she's raising money, and I think many things. And whatever happens in her life, she tries to make something good, not just for herself, but for everybody out of this. And this transformative process of creativity is something I really admire.
Yeah.
And she always makes it with so much elegance and joy, even if she's hurting, even if I mean, she even said in interviews she was not feeling well all the time when she was doing the nanny, but she tries to spread positivity and to spread humor,
Yes.
laughter, because in the end of the day, that's the only thing that matters. No matter what happens in your life,
Yeah.
always make sure you laugh. You
Yeah.
have something to smile. Just
Exactly. You make
a
you.
little bit of peace. And she invited Eartha Kitt as a guest in the nanny.
Yeah.
And I saw and I was like, oh, that voice, that amazing woman. And then I started Googling her, and you should do that too, because that's a woman. I think she was conceived because of a rape, if I remember correctly. And she was, I think, half African American, half white. I'm not sure, but she did not have an easy upbringing at all. And also she had so many fights and struggles in her life, but she
Was that?
believed strongly in herself and in her entertainment abilities, in her voice, and she sang some of the most iconic Christmas songs that we know, or jazz standards. She traveled all over the world. She became a TV personality, as an amazing musician. You should really check her out,
Yeah.
and she was so smart. You should listen to her interviews. That's just incredible, this woman. And I was like, okay, that's why Fran was inviting her to. It's not just because
Yeah.
of the singing, it's the whole story. Amazing.
You made me when you mention the nanny. You made me remind of another beautiful woman that she's no longer, almost a year is gone by. Shannon Doherty.
Ah,
She
yes. Yes, she
she's
died recently, right?
yes, my heart broke.
Yes.
She has been
Yeah.
an icon for all my life. She's
Oh
been always
my.
she always been Brenda for everyone, and then in Charm, but for me she's always been Brenda. Growing up,
Ah, yes. From
beautiful
the
woman.
90s series, or
Yeah.
yeah, yes, I remember
But
vaguely.
then she's been in Charm, that's why many people knows her. But she always been attacked a little bit for her character, because they say, oh, she's maybe she wants the man too much. But I think it's always misconceived that it's don't talk too much when you don't know no one, because how should she deal with cancer? I mean,
Mhm.
until the end, until the last interview she released, she was smiling. She was after chemo going to dance. She was
Yes.
there. She did a reboot of Beverly Hills. I mean, this woman fight for years and years for something that at the end, unfortunately, take her away. But she's been one of the most amazing. I mean, every time I was looking at her, even I remember during the pandemic, she was doing this dancing, showing to be happy. Was thinking, this woman, instead of thinking about herself and say, okay, take my time, I have my money, I traveled, she's there talking to us, people seeing her. And
Mm.
so this is a strong woman. She's a strong woman. We need to look at the before starting to, just go against each other. Yeah, we have to look to women like her, that just they don't give a fuck about what's going on in the world. Just they go
Yeah.
together.
You
So
never know. You can never anticipate
yeah,
the background of somebody. And
she don't
I
know.
think everybody had a burden in life that they have to
Yeah,
carry. So we should be a little bit more kinder here and there, I guess,
yeah,
and not to project our, even if we look with open eyes, neurology taught us that we only perceive a small percentage of everything that is going
exactly.
on around us. So we can never fully know what's going on.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I think too that when people say something about somebody they don't really know, or about a situation they don't know, it actually doesn't really say much about the person they're talking about or about the situation, but they show a lot about themselves and what's going on in
Exactly.
their
It's
heads.
like, yeah,
And I think maybe it's good. And I say that to myself too, because we all do that. You know, we all have easy projections and easy judgmental things or whatever. And sometimes it's good to say, step back a little, calm down, and just really observe. And also be aware of the fact you never know everything. You know, maybe you see a little
Yeah.
tiny thing of something, and that might even be clouded by your own perception.
That, I mean, that's why I say all the time, sometimes people try to attack you, to say something, but maybe they are not doing that as a woman, as a woman, because they are attacking you, maybe because they are not sure so much about them, because just a reflection of them in there is just a mirror, is mirroring for them. So we just, even if we got some, bad comments or something, just not to get, like in a defensive and respond like and going in a fight. It's stupid. Just why? Just say, like the most, why? Just
Yes,
go
and
for
also,
a talk. Go for just in a calm way. And I'm sure that the opposite part, if it's a woman that is criticizing you, she will be like, wait, what? Wait, what? Why? Like, because they don't expect to you respond with kindness and curiosity.
yes. Also, and we have to know that this is also connected to how we have been raised. We have been raised into competition because competition weakens us, right?
Exactly.
If we don't team up with other women, we are easy targets. But if we team up with other women, we are strong because we're united. So I think that's where we should always apply kindness and support. Also, you and I were talking a couple of times about how hard it is for women to find the right organizations or help. And I've noticed that the most information you get from talking to others and their experiences, that's when they know which numbers you have to call, where you can get actual help. So we really, really need each other because it's not always so easy accessible. And I guess that's also the reason why we should maybe, I mean, famous people like Eartha Kitt or Fran Drescher or Cher or everybody, that's one thing. But this world is run by people, even we don't know their names, who help little things here and there in daily lives. And we should maybe also become one of them, as to just give our part. We cannot solve all the problems by ourselves, but we can contribute a little here and there to exchange really important information with friends, family, whoever is in need of knowing something. Yeah.
And then about that, there are a lot of organizations, I think, in every country, and I think also in the United States a lot, that also in Italy, I think that you also app for the phone that you can download and you can talk and chat if you feel yourself in danger, and they can call you just even if just the road for go home and back, just to, if you feel that you're in danger, or even if you need to feel to talk. There are these free phone line that you don't have to pay to talk, that you just, they are there. They are not therapists, maybe, or they are, I don't know, but it's just normal people volunteering, sitting there and helping, and just to listen. Of course, depending the case you're going through, they might require, like, do you want to go further? Do you want, but they put you in a way that you have to start to feel that you're not alone. You start to feel that you're not crazy. You start to feel that, because I see myself like, am I crazy? So I know this, the feelings of questioning your own sanity. But then, and when you hear the woman, that it's a woman like you and me, maybe she's a bartender, she's a singer, she's a whatever mom, it's telling you, no, that's not normal. Ada, you are normal. Whatever, Andromeda, you are normal. That's what you're going through is a shit. This is not normal, but you are normal. When you hear from someone else's voice, you say, okay, so you start to get the strength. But then maybe you have to go back like 10 times to the same people to ask, but at least you know where to go. So it's not easy.
You're connecting.
Yeah.
I think connection is so important, and also we should normalize. I mean, women are always trained to always be calm, to deal with your
Exactly.
own things since we are little girls. But I think we should normalize to ask, like specifically ask people, men and women alike, can you please come and help me? I need to report something at the police station, but I'm
Exactly.
scared to be there alone. Would you please accompany me? I would like to do something maybe in return or whatever. Whatever. It doesn't even need that, but to just ask and specifically ask somebody, because I think in my experience, once you open up and dare to ask, there is somebody who will be there for you and to help.
Even one person, there is always going to
Just one can change your whole
be.
entire life.
That's what
Yeah.
they were saying to me. Don't, if you have to go out, if you just anything, try to be with someone on the phone, try to talk with someone, even if it's from the other part of the world.
Yes,
Doesn't matter.
exactly. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, even if it's in a video call, in a call, you are with someone in that moment. You're
Whatever.
talking, you're
Yes.
opening up. So that's,
Connect,
yeah,
connect, and don't be alone, because to be alone is what makes you vulnerable.
it's the shame, because women feel shame. We are taught to be ashamed of something that happened to us. Oh, they offended us, they said something to us, they abused us. We tend to feel ashamed, so we have to find the courage to talk. And sometimes we talk
Absolutely.
even with our best friend or with a stranger. So women needs to understand that this is a normal, feel that feelings, have that feelings, and if maybe it's better for them, like we said, calling the center anti-violence, just helpline, maybe starting with that. They completely, you don't have to put your face on it, you don't have to put your name on it, can be completely anonymous if you want. No one is going to force you to say names unless you don't want to. So it's
Yes.
completely free, because if you, it's better to do that than stay in silence and always have the abuser on your head. Because like happened in Italy, I think was I don't know, it was 2 months ago by now, those two girls killed in the same, almost in 24 hours from in Italy. They were just 20 years old. One was in Sicily, killed by this perpetrator. She was saying, oh, for like 1 year, like, I'm done. Let's go. Please go away, go away. And when I heard, because they post, of course, their audio saying, I don't want to have nothing to do with you, because she was recording it. I saw myself in her. I was like, what the fuck? And I think many women can see themselves in her.
Yes.
She always rejected him, never said once, oh, please, can you? Never. And at the end, she was going out to think of the university. She was standing in front of the bus line, and he stopped there with all the people in front of. And they say, and can you imagine what is the most common thing that you can say? Oh, why didn't she talk? Why didn't she do nothing?
He's
Instead,
always accusing her,
yeah,
like making her feel uncomfortable, making her feel
yeah,
ashamed.
yeah,
I
and
think that's really something that we should. That's something I hope that humanity can really change. That
yeah,
people who are the perpetrators, the one who hurt, they should be scared, never the victims. Victims should never should never
exactly
feel scared, never, not feel ashamed, nothing. It should, it's the other
the opposite.
people who are responsible for hurting others that should feel scared and ashamed, you know?
Exactly. It's like the most common thing when you go out dressed as you want. Oh, I mean, that happened, that whatever abuse happened because she was dressed like that. Like the most common thing we heard since decades.
Yeah.
So when our grandparents were kids, the oldest things in the world.
Even if we would be all naked, nobody has a right to
Exactly.
transgress your dignity and your physical integrity. Nobody is allowed to touch it, no matter how you dress or what you do.
Exactly.
There's nothing. There's a zero tolerance we should cultivate about that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And because of course of course, I mean, this poor girl that passed away, she was murdered, not passed away, that was killed, we can say. And the other, and they found that after the day after, this girl in a luggage, can you imagine, by her ex-boyfriend. So
My God.
they were 20 years old. One was in Rome, one was in Sicily. I mean, like two girls, like we were like, what's going on in Italy? What's going on in the world? What's going on in Sicily? What I mean, we only had mafia until now. What's going on here? I mean, I think younger, younger is the generation. More they are growing up with different belief. I don't know, values. It's the violence. It's easier for them, and I don't want to blame social media or family, but that's it. It's how you grew up, all the easy access you have on whatever social media you have, and that's why for this thing they should do something in the school system, something in the family. That's the government issue that we know how they work, what all over the world. But in the small, like in a micro environment, it's the single person. If you as a woman see that kid, that even if it's you're like 12 years old, the kid is bullying you and you feel uncomfortable, report him. It's not a problem. Go to your teacher, go to your mom, go to anyone, just to report, because it starts from there. Because when we were a kid, maybe we stay in silence, and then we learn that silence. No, we have to yell, shout it out.
Exactly.
Like Billy Idol sang, rebel yell. We have to yell literally, even in the middle of the street. Who cares? So
that's what I mean. It's like we should not have tolerance when it comes to violence. Like there should be like an immediate reaction against it immediately, and it starts with daily life business, as you said. A very nice example with the school bully that hurts you, or man, there are so many, even in your own family, when you have to be scared of one of your parents or of other relatives that are hurting you. We should, the first thing you do is you shut up, because you start to question yourself. Is it right? Is it wrong?
Exactly.
I should be able to trust that person, but I feel something is weird. How do you react? Most of the time you just shut up and you zip, and that's exactly what people take advantage of. So what you say, you should do the rebel yell. That's so true. Because these people, they will be shocked and embarrassed once they are, caught in the act.
Yeah,
right?
because if you are in the middle of the street, you start to scream,
Yeah.
which is maybe seems like stupid, but it's not. If you start to scream, go away, well, and anything, even just a normal scream, people around you start to look at what's going on. And even if like in most cases they don't do nothing, there is always going to be one person that's going to move towards you, and the perpetrator is going to look like a stupid, like it is, and
hopefully, yes.
Run away, go worse, I don't know, but at least you have to try. I mean, at least trying. And of course, just if there is a way, just because call the law enforcement, because we are really ending up with having our own weapon. We have to walk in the street carrying weapon. That's how we are. I mean, that's not possible in 2025, that women in almost we have to carry weapon with us for being safe in the middle of the night. That's we should feel safe. Literally walking every day, every hour, even at 3 a.m. I can walk 3 a.m. I have to feel good. I don't have to feel like in danger, that someone can rape you, someone can hurt you, someone can do something. And it's not only people in the street, like you say, it could be your partner, it could be anyone, because violence came in any sort of way from anyone, even from the person you trusted the most. That's why talking, that of course when we mention violence, not only physical, that's important for the women.
Oh yes, there are many different ways of violence.
And thanks God now we have more laws that are regarding for that. It's not only for only
it really depends on the country you're in. My favorite example is really my home country, Switzerland, because it's a country that is known for being very safe, right? It's financially stable, it's very safe, it's well organized, it's clean, blah, 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 blah. Yes, that's true. Unless you are a woman and you have a male partner, then it looks a little different. So what you have is that when we were talking, to set up this interview, it was when we were talking about women's rights and everything. And I checked on the database of Switzerland, like about how many, we have a high femicide rate in Switzerland, right? When partners kill their women. And at that point, when we were talking, I read that every week since the beginning of this year, one woman was killed by a partner, ex-partner.
And let's remind the world.
And that's in Switzerland. Every week, one woman died because of a man. That's it, you know? Like, also in Switzerland, we don't have a law against stalking.
No?
It sounds ridiculous. They are now talking about this, the politicians, to maybe have a law that is a bit more strict when there are victims of stalkers. And I think many women, if not most women, already had experiences with that. And even men too. I mean, that's also, it can also happen the other direction or however, but I know so many women who had experience with stalking, and it was terrifying. It was horrible. And in Switzerland, you don't really have help for that. That's incredible. So now the politicians are talking about that. And for me, that's unbelievable when I think about Switzerland. Obviously a safe country. No, it really depends on who you are. That's incredible.
But,
my God.
But you mentioned also about, we were talking about outside the interview when we were setting up,
Yes.
about some organization that is of women, that they are doing, a little the word about it.
Yes, this is an incredible organization that was built, I think, 40 years ago by women who, it's called FIZ, which FIZ. It's located in Zurich, and it helps victims of human trafficking and forced prostitution. So mostly migrant women, right? And that's a team of women. You can imagine that when a team of women starts to help victims of forced prostitution, that they are being threatened and attacked, and they stood up against that. And they did not only change the discourse of what means human trafficking or prostitution, or in this case illegal prostitution. They did not only change this within the last 40 years, they were even able to change whole realities, even the legal and the social realities of Switzerland. Switzerland changed its laws because of the work of these women. That's just incredibly inspiring. They fought so hard, and they do all kinds of things. Let me check. I want to make sure I have all the facts correctly. So what they do is they have like special counseling that they offer, safe housing for women. They give legal assistance, all kinds of programs for protection, you know, for all the victims, because sometimes they have to be hidden. They have to become anonymous, so nobody can track them down. And so they also do a lot of educational work in public, of course, and they take advocacy. They really try to make a systematic change in society, in the society of Switzerland, but for mostly migrant women, right? And I think that's really impressive work what they are doing. So maybe if you are interested, FIZ in Zurich, that's really unbelievable what they are doing, and that's a great team. And I think that's exactly the example to live by. But it's not just, I mean, that's an organization that started to grow over the last years. But I think what is interesting is they were a couple of women who decided to do that at one point.
They were just women. They weren't like lawyers or whatever. They were just
women. I mean, some of them, if they studied, of course they had to get their facts straight and information, and they had to make people become aware of this being a real problem in Switzerland. I mean, again, Switzerland, who is famous and known for certain things, had one of the most important human trafficking centers in whole Europe. We have to become aware of that. That's just incredible. That's a double standards. It's hypocrisy at its finest. And they really helped there. But this was a team of women who decided one day to work and to help others. And I think that's what we can do too. For example, I have a cousin who is into martial arts and who studies psychology, and she really knows a lot about things. She helped many women already she accompanied them to the police or to other organizations. She helped them with the paperwork when they had a foreign background and they didn't really know German or whatever. Many things. And I know a couple of women who are like psychological coaches or some, and it's good to exchange with them, even to form like, I mean, like when women meet to have a coffee together or something, with that, as we should, like when we meet for coffee, sometimes it can also be good to invite some women over and say, hey,
Exactly.
today let's have a coffee. Yes, but let's also talk about things like when I asked my cousin even, hey, can you like, maybe we should organize a date where you can introduce some basic skills for martial arts, which can help all women to feel a
That's
bit more
interesting.
safe. Because not every woman has the schedule available or the money
Yeah,
to have courses that are very
exactly.
intense and long and expensive. But maybe
Exactly.
there's like 2 or 3 little tricks you can learn
Yeah,
that then can
absolutely.
already change your mindset first and foremost, because that does already a lot for you. But also to feel a bit more safe or to know something, what you could do to not just feel really vulnerable or, yeah, just tiny little things.
Yeah, but also someone that is a therapist, maybe as a friend, and maybe someone is a
Yeah.
psychologist. If you have a friend that is a psychologist, or you're a psychologist yourself, and you want to just take a coffee with a friend, and maybe they know there's someone in danger, maybe they want to just share time, because go to a therapist sometimes it's expensive and not many women
Very
can
much
afford
so.
to do that. So just it's not like everyday work, it's just small time,
No.
small talk, even on the phone. And I was looking on internet and I found, but I think I have to check, but there is a free number, an anonymous number against violence, against women, violence for women, that is active in different European countries like France, Spain, Portugal, Belgium, and it's active
Okay.
24 hours on for 7 days on 7, and respond. And of course there are psychological help, legal help, emergency, and it's 116 016. So
Okay.
106 116 016. Other country that, for example, here shows like Italy is 5022, France it's 3919, and then
Yes.
Spain 016, Germany it's super long, 808 000 11606. But of course I'm gonna add there is even UK in Poland. There is a lot, but the most important I think it's one in European. We have one European also,
Mm-hmm.
free, anonymous, 24 hours for 7
Mm-hmm.
the 7 days of 7, and for just psychological help, legal emergency, just can call it no matter where you are. If I'm an Italian
Yes.
in
Yeah.
I don't know, in France, in Belgium, even in Italy, in Italian, in it, just call it. If
Yes.
I have any help, that's at least we know. That's good to know.
And I think there is also this hand sign that you can do to indicate
Yeah,
that you need help.
yeah.
Something little like this, just even teach it to your little niece or to your little daughter, whoever has children, just some
These
little
things must be more
exercises.
be aware. Yeah, this small sign just be more. They need to be more spreaded on social media. I
Yes, I
see
think
like
so too.
influencer people, like influencer women or musician women or people in the whatever in the. We spend time on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, just on this basis that start to share every time they're doing something, just at the end of everything, at the beginning of the reels, of the clip, just post that at
Yes.
least once a week, because that's how we start to get to know and remember, and became like normality.
Yes,
Became like
exactly.
normality. It's like but I remember, I think, I'm not sure, that also, I don't know which is the sign, like if you are in a bar, like for orders, there was a name for a cocktail that you have to ask to the, you can ask to the bartender to let you know that
Ah,
the
yes,
manager.
that's clever.
Yeah, I
Yes,
think there is. I don't know what it was like, because there is this was there something angel something, it wasn't like this famous cocktail, the Blue Angel, something. It has specific names, but I think maybe it might change countries to countries. But this must be, for example, depending where you are, in which pub you can go, which venue, especially if you're a woman going also alone, maybe in this case in a live show, in a concert, in a festival. If you are alone and you maybe meet the surveillance, the security, or someone that, it's even in the bar, just maybe say something. Just if I have an emergency, maybe this is my keyword, my safe word.
Yes.
So, or even just if you are alone, just stay in a line where you see that there is the person that you met, because it's beautiful, going experience traveling alone, especially going also to live show by yourself, enjoy music, but having also someone that you can, because everything can happen everywhere. So just also if you go in a bar, just talk with the bartender, say, oh, if I say, I don't know, this word to you, you maybe call 911. Let's say 911 for everyone. I can call that. Because it's having keywords sometimes, even with a friend, because also if you have an abusive partner or someone abusive next to you, you have your own keyword with your friend, with your parents, with anyone in your life. You can maybe put the keyword and they understand, because it's not easy to write when someone is next to you.
Yes.
So that's already something. But a lot, I think, if also we could Google it up, there are a lot of applications that allows women to go back home safely, talking on the phone, or also like chatting, like a kind of an Instagram thing. There are always women available. This is like also volunteering. If any woman is watching this interview and it's not doing nothing, let's say, for example, in the evening you're free, you want to do that, I think you can apply and being a volunteer for this, because the only thing you have to do is being on the phone with another woman. You can talk about even clothes, music, movies. It's just the moment of help. And then that's already start. It's nothing that you have to stay in an office. No, it's different. The time are different.
And also, like, for example, this organization, FIZ, that I mentioned, they often look for people who have language skills, like uncommon, who can come and help to translate, because sometimes when they are victims from other countries, they really don't know the local language, and then they are happy to have people available for translation. Or there are many different ways or how you can get engaged, and even it can also be really simple by just saying, listen, my friend, if ever you need somebody, I'm there for you. Maybe that's already depending on how somebody feels comfortable, or how somebody has a schedule, or like I can see that a mother who is raising her children and alone and has to work full time or even half time, she has already a lot on her plate, and maybe doesn't have the time to do extra volunteer work, like even if she wanted to. But sometimes just to say to somebody, hey, I'm there for you in case you need me, it can already change something.
This is like the simple thing, like I'm here if
Yes.
you need me. You can receive a message and then you can just grab your phone and call emergency number. That's it.
Absolutely.
Just a call. You don't have to. If you can, you run and help the person if you can. But if you can, just the bare minimum. It's literally, we live on the phone. It's like, like when a man doesn't find the time to message you. Come on, it's just 1 minute. We live in our phone today. So finding time is always like to listen to your friend, because so many people, women, but not even men, whatever, they go through literally hell for abuse, and no one take time to listen. So everything starts from the smallest things. Just be there as a friend at the beginning, as a friend, as a stranger, just to listen. You don't have to just give advice or be the best, I don't know, buy gift, just listening. Already something. Maybe the person going through the hell is finding there the strength to say, okay, I'm not alone. My friend, this person is listening to me. Maybe I can go and speak more. Maybe your friend is helping. Just do something. If you don't, because I understand it's not easy doing the first step. Because
No, not at all.
It's all about that, doing the first step.
Yes, and the thing is also to have persistence, because what I've learned from my own experience and also from friends and relatives is that sometimes people are just say, "Oh no, that's not my business." Even police officers, they say like, "Oh no, we're not responsible for that." Or yes, of course you are. So I know that people easily get like, "Okay, so I have to find somebody else." No, insist. Even if you have to tell them what they have to do.
Exactly.
You
Yeah,
just
exactly.
insist, you're persistent. You need to be, otherwise you don't get help. It's horrible
Yeah, I
to
mean,
that you always have to repeat yourself to be
exactly.
taken.
To be
Uh,
heard.
it-
Yeah.
but I think that's something to think about, is to really be persistent, to not give up,
Exactly.
to not, even if you are scared, just
Yeah,
keep on. Take your friend, take whoever you
exactly.
can,
Except
and
not my friend. I remember when for the first day I went, because already they know me. I mean, these doesn't sounds good, but
yeah.
already they know me for once. But I never went in person, so of course it was like, okay, this is a new. What is that? This is a. It was just an apartment, nothing new.
Yes.
It was a new place. I was there. Of course, I didn't know if it was a therapist. I didn't know if it was just a normal woman. But you don't know what to expect, because they are so tight with not having men in this anti-violence shelter. Just leave your phone. All these rules for our safety. I was like, what the fuck? I feel in a movie, but I bring my friend with me, and she sat outside the room, so I was inside with this woman. We talked. I went outside, and I was also seeing a therapist. I mean, my actual therapist. And when I was outside with my friend, she said to me, Ada, I don't think you need to go to the center anti-violence. Why? It doesn't help you. Not even the therapist. So, what? You just go, you can go just straight to the police. And it doesn't work like that I go to the police and report and the work is done, because there are so many things in the woman go through violence that maybe they don't want to sue the person, or maybe they don't want to ruin the life of the other. Just so many things. And the most asked question, if this person bother, block him. It's not that easy. If I can't block him and he disappear, I need someone behind me to say to me, block him. Now it's time, because maybe they need time to collect proof, or maybe in my mind there is still the outgoing, thing that is I can't. It's because sometimes there is then an addiction from the other person, the fear. There's so many things that only someone like a therapist, psychiatrist, or this organization can understand. So if you have a friend like I had that said to you, you don't need that, please go alone. It's better sometimes. So just it was just funny to see, like, that's because this is like literally how a lot of people said to me, just you can block this person, you don't have to. I mean, well, it's too much effort. They won't help you. Oh, they won't help me.
Hmm.
Here I am.
Yes, and to block is, I mean, of course, that's the goal. But
Yeah,
what are you doing when that's the father of your children,
exactly.
or like a relative, or I don't know what? I mean,
You have the same house, you live in the same house.
yes, there are like so many different realities, and we should adapt the strategy
Exactly.
according to the reality and to the possibilities. But nevertheless, I guess what we always to make sure is that safety comes first, always non-negotiable.
No,
And we always should make sure we are safe, no matter if it's something with a partner or with a stranger or with a relative. Safety first, and then take it from there, like team up with people who care,
yeah,
get support. If it's the police or psychologist or both or whatever, doesn't matter. But
yeah,
we need, I think taking action is really important. And also what we talked about, to shift the anxiety and shame feeling
yeah,
to away from the victim
yeah.
towards the abuser, the
Yeah,
abuser.
yeah.
And I think that's a big process, and it's super scary. I mean, everybody who ever had to sadly be in a situation where he or she encountered whatever kind of abuse with somebody close or even a stranger, knows how complex that is emotionally, psychologically, or physically. It's just horrible. And to give voice to something that wants to make you being muted, that's really hard. But and I think we should really make sure that we are safe, even if it's somebody you love, even if it's somebody who could lose the reputation. That person didn't think about love, didn't think about reputation when he or she hurt you. So make sure you are safe first, take small actions, whatever is possible, but let's do them. Even if you're so scared you shit your pants, even if you're crying, even if you're trembling, that's not embarrassing at all. That's just what is embarrassing is when somebody hurts you on purpose. That's embarrassing. And yes, maybe but I think your friend was also, I guess, at loss of not really becoming aware of the dimension of how complex something can be.
Yeah, because she's been herself in a, like in a violent situation. So she has need to have still the call, like you say, like to see what is going on, because still living in that pattern of going and ending and abusing, starting another abuse. So if you are a victim and you don't know, and you say, but that's normal, of course you're gonna see me going there like not normal. So you have to seek the help for yourself. So because there are also these people that they don't want the help, they are okay with that, but they should understand, at least open, listen a little bit, try to talk, no matter what. Even say, oh, for me this is a normal thing, being in this dysfunctional relationship, for example, that have been abused, mentally abused, let's say, that is not real violent. Try to talk with the Center Anti-Violence. Try to let them read what you're being offended, what you're receiving. For sure, they will tell you that this is not normal and that someone else is crazy. So it's better that you take action, and then you're
connect.
Yeah.
I think that the most difficult thing is to connect and to talk when you don't want to say a word, to connect when you want to isolate yourself. That's the most difficult thing, but that's exactly the thing we should do, and we should normalize and start to feel comfortable with. Like saying no. That's so difficult. Just to say no and to mean it and to not feel guilty or ashamed or whatever. So that's something we should normalize to train this, even with friends or sisters, to have them even like exercising, acting, like putting yourself in different situations, whatever we can do. I think because that's really difficult. I'm a singing teacher since a long time, and I noticed that many women, they always have to talk on and sing with silent, cute voices. Na, 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 na. And I was like, where's your voice? I'm sure it's there, but let's grow it. Let's grow. Use your voice. Give voice to yourself. You have it. Nature gave you a strong voice. Use it. But we are so conditioned to hold us down, and we have to practice. And like you practice singing and you let your voice grow. We also have to do that with the consciousness and the security of saying no, to protect ourselves, to give ourselves the safety we all deserve and the help we all deserve, to become persistent. That's something we have to practice, like we practiced to walk when we were little toddlers, or languages or whatever.
Exactly. Everything has to start with, like you said, with saying no.
Yes.
With the closest person you have, or just saying, and the first number, you can Google it, the first number you want to, they are all anonymous. Just taking a small step, and then these people, or you're gonna feel yourself guided, or this center gonna guide yourself to just do the next step. But everything is do the first step. Doesn't matter what, just do the first step. And always don't judge someone that is next to you, but listen, just give your ear, because maybe they have a similar story, or maybe even worse. It doesn't matter, even better, but just a story. It's like when you are in an airport, you see a lot of people, all these people have different stories. How many people above us sitting in the airport and imagining with stories? It's the same of anyone in the world. We have all of our stories, which is can be good or not.
No.
So never judge someone else if we don't know. That's the first, especially never judge a woman. Never. It's the opposite. Give your hand, right?
Yes.
Give your hand, saying, I'm here if you need me. So what can I say? As a first episode, when we raise a lot of I think people go, oh, what about the bad boys? For the men, it's the same. But men are more friendly. For men, it's the same. Just of course, if you're a woman, you need help. You can call a man to your friend. It's just not only women, of course, but that's for everyone. But we wanted to focus mainly about women because that's what we are seeing going a lot since the beginning of the earth. Since the beginning of
Yes, and it's a sad matter of fact
Yeah.
that in nowadays time, systematically, women still are not having
Exactly.
equal rights to men, and it can be on a legal system, legal level as much as it's even more in daily business that where you are encountered with men having a lot of privileges which women don't. And it's not about taking away privileges of men, but to have them for everybody. And I think sometimes I say that to myself a lot too when I think I don't have children, but I'm thinking about how would I want my daughter to be raised, or what would I tell her, what would I want for her. And then I redirect what I want for a possible daughter to myself. Because what I think my daughter would deserve, or I want her to be aware of, I need that for myself too. I have to parent myself first.
Yeah, that's a beautiful statement. And I think it's beautiful. It's something that always should ask to ourselves. It's also beautiful, I think, exercise to us to do. Exercise to make a few hours, like every day, not only when we need help. So, and it's really deep. So, Andromeda was a beautiful.
It is always a pleasure and an honor.
Next time we're going to talk. So, thank you so much, Andromeda.
Thank you too. Big hug to you too.
See you soon.
Kisses to Italy and to all women in the world.
Always. And it was a pleasure having you again.
Yeah, you too. Bye. Bye.